I've been joined by the RFA's Nick Watts, looking ahead to this weekend's big race at Sandown, the Coral-Eclipse. Nick, so you think was found lame in his box this morning, which is very disappointing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a shame for all race fans over here that think they're going down to Sandown and to glimpse him for quite possibly the last time that he's going to be racing over here. And changes the complexion of the race somewhat. I mean, I thought it was open beforehand. I didn't think it was a certainty, but certainly now there'll be, his opposition certainly won't be disappointed in the sense that, everyone's going to think they can win it now.
And Farr's now into 9-4 favourite without So You Think. What do you think of his chances in the race?
Well, it's justifiable that he's been promoted to favouritism. I mean, you looked an unlucky third last time out at Ascot against So You Think. Could well have finished a good deal closer with anything like a decent run through. So you can understand why the market is based around him now and why he's favourite. And he's got a good chance. The only concern I'd have is the fact that he's racing so quickly after Ascot. And you look through his career record, he hasn't managed that many runs. It probably hasn't been the easiest to train. And he's always had a nice long gap between them. So you would have that concern in the back of your mind if you're betting him. But if he can get over that and can back up quickly, then yeah, he's got a favourite's chance.
And I know you're keen on Cityscape, who was extremely impressive in Dubai in the Dubai Duty-Free, and it's his first time over this trip though. Yeah,
it's an interesting horse, Cityscape. Like you said, he's spent the vast majority of his career at a mile, and that seems to be his trip. But they tried him over 1 mile 1 in the Duty-Free, and probably put up his best ever performance. He looked fantastic. Didn't look as though the trip was an issue, and looked as though he should be able to cope with another furlong. So I mean, I wouldn't necessarily use that as an excuse for him to get beaten. Yeah, I mean, he had a disappointing run last time in Shartin, but nothing really worked out from there. So I think you can draw a veil over that. Had a nice break since then, and he is a genuine Group 1 horse. I mean, he was third in the Queen Anne last season behind Canford Cliffs and Goldie-Cove. That was a great run. I think he's capable of competing at this level. A bit of cut in the ground wouldn't go amiss for him. I'm sure he's going to get that. So yeah, I think he's got a decent chance.
And Nathaniel's currently second favourite behind Farr now, but Gosden said this morning he'll probably be at his best towards the autumn because he's missed his prep race.
Yeah, that's the big thing with Nathaniel. I mean, if Gosden managed to get a run into him, then you'd probably fancy him quite strongly. Obviously, top class last season, won the King George. It's just that lack of an outing and coming back in Group 1 company. I think obviously without So You Think there, it's made it more open. And if Nathaniel could get away without a prep race, he's got a better chance of doing so now. But that said, I'm sure Gosden will be delighted if he managed to finish in the first 4 and gave him a nice sound basis for the rest of the season. That's probably what he's going to do. Yeah,
and then we've also got Bonfire in there of Andrew Baldings. Says he's in good form after the Derby, and he's sort of put a line through the Derby run because of the track. Mainly because of the track.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to do the same thing. I mean, never looked at ease on the track. He's obviously better than he showed there. 1 mile 2 would probably turn out to be his best trip. He won the Dancy over that trip. Just wondered if he's going to be good enough, really. I mean, I haven't been overly impressed with the 3-year-olds this season, Camelot aside. I think they're all much of a muchness. And the bare form with him beating Ectiharm at York probably needs improving upon. But this is the first chance we'll get to see, the 3-year-old taking on his elders with Bonfire here. So it'd be interesting to see how he goes, but I don't fancy him at the weekend.
So that's Cityscape for Nick in this weekend's Coral-Eclipse at Sandown.